Okay.
So hello, Alex. How are you?
Hello, Macarena. I'm fine here. Good afternoon. I guess in Chile it's afternoon too. It's really a pleasure to be here to see you again, even if virtually, and chat with you about CPTED.
Thank you, Alex. And I'm very happy to have you here as well in our CPTED Talk space. And I will start, if you may, I will start reading your biography so the audience know you better.
Okay.
So Alex Rosa is an architect and urban planner with experience on the area of urban planning and housing, especially in local governments, but also in technical cooperation projects with international organizations and other levels of governments, mainly in Brazil. He has a master's degree in urban and regional planning with research on the theme of safer cities in the new urban agenda and the applicability of its guidelines at the local level, considering CPTED as one of the possible tools. He has participated in recent ICA activities, such as the Congress in Honduras 2017 and in 2019 in Cancun, Mexico. And since that is a focal point for the dissemination of CPTED in Brazil. So welcome, dear Alex. You have an incredible curriculum, much study there. And I will start with a typical question. How did you know about CPTED?
Okay, Macarena. So I have been in contact with CPTED since 2015 or 2016, maybe, when you were in my city in Limeira, São Paulo, to deliver a workshop. And it was a turning point for me when I start to think about my role on security as a urban planner. So at the time, I was working in the city hall, and we were developing a project to a new district, and accepted were considered as a guideline to make that future neighborhood safer, especially in a people-oriented approach and trying to involve the community in an innovative way and so on. Since then, I've been in contact with our extensive network of practitioners, like our WhatsApp groups and congresses, and studying the issue of safer cities, especially on how I could, as a urban planner, contribute to make people feel safe in our cities. Because of this, I ended up developing my master's research in this area. And now I'm working on a project in which one of our tasks is to promote capacity development in violence prevention with an, how can I say, an urban approach in Alagoas. Alagoas is a state in the northeast of Brazil.
That's very interesting to hear, Alex. You have an extensive career. Your focus is from the urban planning perspective and architectural perspective. That is super interesting. It's also my focus when I started CPTED. And please, can you describe a little the context of crime issues in Brazil? Because for the audience, our audience is very broad. Just to start telling that Brazil is an incredible big country, almost a continent, more than 120 million inhabitants. So it's not an easy context. Please describe it a little for the audience.
Okay. Well, the subject of security in Brazil is really wide and quite complex, as you can imagine. You've been in Brazil sometimes and understand it clearly. And from my point of view, I can talk and give my opinion only as a urban planner. I mean, I'm able to talk specifically about the relations between cities and security, which is in fact the central object of CPTED. It means the relations between the urban environment, citizens, and criminal behavior, which has been part of my recent studies. Thus, this approach to situational prevention prevention by design of the urban environment is still a very a subject very little explored in Brazil. The violence prevention activities here, as far as I know, are more present in the field of social policies activities, but they often lack a better structure and systemic articulation. The scenario in general, considering public actions in the area of security, is still dominated by a reactive and offensive attitude focused on repressive action, on weapons, on spreading surveillance cameras throughout the cities, for example. But on the other hand, there are good examples of public policies focused on violence prevention, led especially by some states such as Ceará and Pernambuco, both in the Northeast region of Brazil, whose programs are extensive and well known in the country. And there are other examples like the state of Alagoas, where I currently work, which has advanced in this area among other states and also municipalities such as Sobral in Ceará, which I got to know more closely for my master's research. So we can talk too much about this in another opportunity. And at the same time, there are several organizations and institutions focused on promotion of activities related to violence prevention as well. And some of them have been working hard to change the focus of security policies based on the respect of human rights, considering the context of inequality and so on. So even if the scenario here in Brazil is quite challenging, on the other hand, we are not starting from scratch. It means there are a number of institutions and experiences that no longer allow us to see new possibilities and alternatives on the horizon. And it's a long way, but there's a light ahead, you know.
Yes, it's very relevant what you say. And as you mentioned, I have been in some missions in Brazil, and something that I realized it's very contrasting. Maybe you can explain it more in detail. It's the difference from the northern part of Brazil with the south. We were together in a seminar in the north past year or 2 years ago, and the crime problems in the north are much more difficult. Can you explain that a little?
So we have so many differences, territorial differences between the physical context and the population and inequality and so on. And Northeast is the poorest region of the country. So the violence problem is especially problematic, I think. And so the inequality problem is we can see in all the regions in Brazil.
Yes, you're right. As you know, Alex, CPTED has a very strong theoretical basis. It's based mostly on the theories regarding the opportunity of crime, the crime triangle. Do you think CPTED will be a useful tool to spread in the CPTED crime context? Do you think it will be useful?
Yes, I think CPTED offers as a methodology, a direction and a clarity of action to guide urban public policies, especially urban development and city management, considered as a part of the set of solutions aimed at violence prevention. Um, for me, it's important to understand that CPTED is not a magic solution to all security problems, but is a relevant or strong guide so that allow us to understand the complexity of the question of violence and urban security, provide some tools we can run the articulation with stakeholders, engage communities, and I think with this we can guide urban intervention actions in a better way at different tasks. For example, from the planning of a new neighborhood, an urban requalification or urban redevelopment works, or even daily urban maintenance activities. It allows us to understand that we as urban planners and the other actors involved in urban development, we also have a role to play in this issue. And therefore, we need to know more about this field of action. Another side, CPTED allows that professionals of other areas such as police and security forces, as well as professionals in the field of social care, so they can understand this relation between the urban built environment and the security in a better way. That way, each action in its proper place and articulated, I guess we can together collaborate to improve safety in cities. I think it's the key phase to this challenge, Macarena.
You are completely right, Alex. I agree with you. And in that sense, something that I much value about the CPTED methodology is that it is participatory. You can connect directly with the communities. Do you think this aspect of the participatory process of CPTED second generation and third generation, it's very key to success with projects in Brazil?
It's really important. I think when we can engage communities in a project, the sustainability of the project it's completely different and very strong as the project is developing on the time, and I think the solutions can be strong with the engagement of communities. I think a bit more significant for people, and the relation about people and the places, it's totally different and makes more sense, I think.
Yes, completely. You are completely right, Alex. And also something very beautiful about the CPTED methodologies, because they are so participatory, they are very flexible and open to establish links with other agencies, for example. What do you think is the role of UN Habitat that is working very strong to achieve safer cities? In that sense, do you think there is a link there?
Yes. Today, as I said in the beginning, I work in the UN Habitat project here in the state of Alagoas. And one of our tasks is related to violence prevention, specifically in capacity building in cooperation with the state government. We also have other projects in other states like Pernambuco that also deal with the same subject. I mean, how to improve the urban security, considering the concepts of 2030 agenda and new urban agenda. In fact, the issue of safer cities is one of the areas of action of UN Habitat. And precisely because of this relationship with life in the cities, like this urban approach, the dialogue with the ICA is strongly relevant. I think that this dialogue deserves to be taken forward.
That's good to hear. We are open to have that dialogue, of course. And in that sense, Alex, do you think, for example, other very relevant stakeholders like universities, as an example there in Brazil, with the schools of architecture, should be also part of CPTED Brazil project?
I think it can be stakeholders in our group of discussion groups. We have some friends discussing this issue of urban security and CPTED, so on. And I think we have many partners on different kinds of institutions, like universities, on the police, like, you know, Isangelo, it's the police of the federal district, is a very interesting and impressive experience. And we have some people we are discussing in the local governments, and it's a work of it's like collective work to join the people and discuss this issue, because it's although the CPTED is not a new methodology, here it's not a spreading methodology. You know, we have to start from scratch, as I said.
Yes, completely. And it will be very relevant to have successful stories, to have interventions and projects, and to perform some laboratories, to apply CPTED, just to realize and to gather the evidence to know if it works well in Brazil or not. But I think it will work very fine. And I am very happy that you are promoting and spreading the methodology. Do you think this is more a comment for the audience? This video, this CPTED talk record, will be shared in many countries and many regions of the world. So do you think and you recommend to the audience to become an active ICA member, and why?
Well, I think being an ICA member, I think allow us to take contact with our network. It's a incredible network of practitioners and professionals, and in all over the world. And for me, it's impressive experience to when we were in the Congress in Cancun. It was a great experience. I think it's an important value, this partnership with ICA.
Yes, of course. And the idea is to learn from each other, to have a very vibrant and active community. Yeah. For the moment, we are very active in a digital way. We cannot gather, unfortunately. But we hope. Condition. Yeah, today's conditions. But we hope at the end of the year we can connect again in the Swedish conference, the ICA conference that will be held in Sweden in November. So we hope we can connect there. If not, if we cannot travel, probably we can do that by digital ways. So Alex, and as closing remarks, do you want to highlight some ideas for the Brazilian audience?
So I would like to think about our challenge today. I think it's to join people in this pandemic context, and another challenge, I think it's important, and to change the how can I say, the mood of the security policies, you know. And I think it's important to show the other side of security policies. We can do in a different way, and it's totally possible. You have so many examples to show us, and the same of our network of CPTED practitioners, and we have to stay calm and let it go and go ahead to promote this idea. I think it's very important.
Yes, completely agree, Alex. And the idea of the umbrella initiative that we are launching as ICA is that we can connect in a very organic and lovely way all the chapters, the CPTED chapters from the world. And what we realized until now is that each chapter evolves in different moments. The idea is that you go with the flow and step by step, don't rush, and just move forward. And the attitude towards to achieve that the Brazilian chapters is to gather all CPTED practitioners from Brazil. So the same way you are doing now. So congratulations for that, Alex. And I hope you stay safe and safe and keep going with the good work there.
Thank you, Macarena.